edition on Atlantic Television Network. Contrary to claims by the former River State Governor, Nyesom Wike, that he met Siminala Yufubara, governor of the state, the Abia State Governor Alex Oti has declared that power only comes from the supreme being, God. Oti made the declaration on Tuesday while inaugurating a project executed by Governor Fubara in Eleme local government area of River State. The Abia governor expressed confidence that despite the political crisis rocking River State, the people of the state are assured of getting the dividing of democracy, stressing that Fubara came prepared. Recall that Governor Fubara, who vowed to probe the immediate past administration, expressed worries over the doubt burden he inherited from his predecessor, Wike. Speaking during the inauguration ceremony, Fubara lamented that the contractors who handled projects commissioned by Wike are still coming for their balance payments, running into millions and billions. Political analysts called on the House of Representatives in the National Assembly to intervene in the fraud between the River State House of Assembly and the River State Governor. In view of his position on the Constitution, a political analyst, Asim Adam, spoke on the legality wherein the House of Representatives can adopt section of the Constitution to make the law for the state on issues of internal dispute as it may be.
In court, because this one is talking, I'm the speaker, this one is saying, I'm not the speaker. What should happen is that let that particular section 11 sub 4 be invoked by members of the House of Reps. Ugochi, if you listen to me, I am speaking to you directly, sir. You are a member of the House of Reps. The River State House of Assembly is dismembered, is in tatters, is in comatose, is in ICT unit of the hospital. The blood level, the PCV level of River State House of Assembly, instead of 32, is 3. It's an aberration. You have the right to save democracy in River State, not by going on television. Invoke section 11 sub 4. The gentleman that moved that motion 2013 was not a member of River State, he was from Taraba. I don't know if you are from River State or from Imo State. You have that right to move the House of Reps you belong, to invoke section 11 sub 4, to take over the functions of the River House of Assembly so that you be to make laws for them. Under section 11 sub 4, it says they can make all laws except they cannot impeach the president, the governor of the state. So what are you waiting for? Because this matter is eating deep into the fabrics of democracy in River State. Lawyers are divided. Lawyers have divided opinion. Even yesterday, I listened to Falana. Let me just encapsulate.
The Constitution of the Federal Republic of Nigeria, 1999, Section 90, creates just one House of Assembly for each of the 36 states. You can't have different. You can't have factions. You could have people who probably will impersonate, who will arrogate unto themselves, as I am now. Can I deplete even up to 2? And the question Nigerians have not been able to boldly answer, does that House of Assembly cease to exist? No. What happens is that there are 2 members. The 2 members will hold sway, will hold forts for the meantime for the House. But what would they do? They will notify INEC to say, look, we have depleted to a disturbing number. Please conduct election to fill those other vacancies.
Confirmed that Gogo Iboroma, as commissioner designated Iboroma, a senior advocate of Nigeria's son, was screened today by the House led by Speaker Victor Jumbo at the Hallowed Chamber in the State Government House, Port Harcourt. Delta State House of Assembly has suspended the member representing Ughelli North 1 constituency, Matthew Omolade, over alleged gross misconduct. The suspension order was pronounced by the Speaker, Dennis Momotimi Guo, while the motion was preceded by the motion raised on the floor of the House by the Majority Leader, Emeka Nwaobi, Aneocha North. The motion was supported by the Chief Whips of the House, Parkins Umokoro Sapele, and was unanimously adopted by the House. The suspended lawmaker was alleged to have willfully and forcefully pervaded the proceedings of the House, while, according to the Majority Leader, the lawmakers' alleged action violates a standing order and rules of the House, which necessitate the need for the suspension. Following the adoption of the motion, Omonade was suspended for the period of 14 legislative days and also mandated to hand over to the management of the House all government properties in his possession. Edo State Police Command has confirmed the adoption of workers of Dangote Cement Factory, Okbeala, in Otasko East local government area of state on Monday. Commissioner of Police in charge of the command, Fansho Adebaoye, confirmed the incident of newsmen in a statement signed by the police public relation of the command, Chidi Nwabuezo, on its behalf. Adeboye said the workers were adopted at about 6 p.m. on Monday while going to Okbala community in Costa Bus after the close of works of the day, adding that 3 persons who sustained various degrees of gunshot injury during the kidnapping have been rescued and taken to the hospital for medical treatment. Meanwhile, one other victim who was earlier shot at the point of attack and another victim, one Victor Okon, were rushed to the same hospital for treatment. President of the 10th National Assembly, Senator Godswill Akpabio, and the governor of Akwa Ibom State, Pastor Umoino, are working towards their re-election bid ahead of the 2027 general elections. These played out days from the senatorial district no other person, while Pastor Umoino for his ability to bring unity and peace between his administration and the success aspiration. Imo State Governor Hope Uzodinma has selected 27 sole administrators to superintend the affairs of the local government council in the state. A statement by the Commissioner for Information, Public Orientation and Strategy, Imo State Decline Umerumba, said the solid will pilot the affairs of the local government until credible local government elections in the state are conducted in the next 60 days. The Commissioner also said the appointments are with immediate effect. This is the third time the Governor has appointed the sole administrators to oversee the affairs of the 27 local government councils and assure that the Imo State Independent Electoral Commission will conduct the LG election. However, until the deserved Imo State Independent Electoral Commission is reconstituted, the process of holding local government election may not be in sight. Ebonyi South Senatorial Commission, Silas Umo, has asserted to appeal the ruling of the tribunal that struck out his petition against the judges over alleged bias, injustice, and lack of fair hearing in election petition. The ruling was quoted to a position filled to the President of the Court of Appeal and copied to the tribunal panel seeking their recusal from the by-election tribunal by the PDP candidate, while the 3-man panel handed by Justice H.N. Kunaza dismissed owner's petition for lack of merit. Delivering the ruling by the tribunal sitting in Abakaliki, Justice Okonaza, who was flanked by Justice Basi Nkanan and Justice M.O. Obola, said the PDP candidate failed to prove allegation of lack of fair hearing, bias, and injustice in his petition. The petitioner said he would appeal to ruling, insisting that he had lost confidence in the ability of the panel to dispense justice in the election petition by the panel, while owner counsel Celeb Uwe said they would immediately apply for the certificate to certify truth copy of the ruling and study it for urgent actions. Meanwhile, counsel to Senator Anthony Okorie and Roy Uweze commended the ruling by expressing dissatisfaction that no cause was awarded against the petitioner to serve as deterrent to anyone who tried to mingle with integrity of justice. Group known as Alaigbo Development Foundation has called on President Bola Tinubu to address the continuous killing of innocent Nigerians by Fulani herdsmen in the southeast and other parts of southern Nigeria and the Middle Belt. The group wondered why the killers are never arrested or prosecuted by law enforcement agencies. A statement by Abia Onyika, National Secretary, says serious steps must be taken by the federal government to save Nigerians and should be treated as such. The group urged all those embarking on their struggles for self-determination to adopt a peaceful and non-violent approach, adding that the struggle for self-determination is to fight to deepen the democratic rights of ethnic nationalities. Osun State Police Command has arrested one Adeyini Sunday on a manager of one of the Facebook branches in Osogbo. The Commissioner of Police, Mohammed Umar Abba, disclosed that Adeyini, who reside at Army Barracks area, Kelep Irambi Road, Osogbo, is a serial fraudster and dupe. Adeyini also said the suspects obtained money under false pretense to the tune of 650.8 million. The statement signed by the command spokesperson Yemisi said the suspect has been suspended by the First Bank Nigerian Place. His former employer, while investigation into the case has since commended, and the suspect and his compliance would be charged to court upon completion of the investigation. The CP assured the residents of the state of the command's commitment to rid the state of criminals elements. Security operatives has arrested students of University of Ibadan for protesting against the recent increment of the institution's fees. The students were arrested by the security operatives of the institution and were later handed over to men of the Joint Security Network in the state, also known as Operation Burst End. During the inauguration of the newly elected Student Union Executives, the students displayed placards with the inscription, "No to fee hike." The inauguration was attended by the Vice Chancellor of the university, Professor Kayode Adebowale, and other principal officers of the institution, while the arrested students include Ayodele Awudo, Adeyeye Oluwofemi, Nice Linus, and Mido Gbadasin. Public Relations Officer of the institution, Adejoke Akimpulu, said that the rumor of the students arrested was a mere propaganda by the students. Federal High Court sitting in Abuja has ordered the Ondo State Governor, Lucky Aiyedatiwa, the All Progressives Congress, and the Independent National Electoral Commission to file their defense in the suit seeking to nullify Aiyedatiwa's candidacy in the upcoming gubernatorial election in the state slotted for November. The senator representing Ondo South, Senator Jumo Ibrahim, said approached the court to void Aiyedatiwa's win from the April 20 APC governorship primary election held in Ondo State, won the court to declare that Aiyedatiwa was not a valid candidate for the party because the party did not comply with the provision of the Electoral Act 2022, asked the court to delete APC and Aiyedatiwa's form from the political parties and candidates that will participate in the gubernatorial polls. The plaintiff counsel, Chris Uche, said he received a memorandum of conditional appearance from APC and INEC lawyers, but was yet to receive any application from Aiyedatiwa, adding that the defendants were yet to file their confidence. APC lead counsel Tayo Ayitobo, who also told the court that they had written a letter to the Chief Judge of the Federal High Court requesting for transfer of the case from Abuja to Ondo State, said they couldn't understand why the suit was filed in Abuja instead of Ondo State. Operatives of the Department of State Service has invaded an Ogun State High Court sitting in Ilaro and arrested two defendants despite the judge's warning. The court was presided over by the Justice A.A. Ashobayo, while the defendants, who were simply identified as Alhaji Isaka Fatih and Samuel Oyero, were tried in suit between the state and the Owode Oladusu and 13 others. The case was reported to be a result of a crisis that recently broke out in Agosasa community in Ekpa-Okea local government area of the state over an Oba sheep tussles, which led to the destruction of properties worth billions of naira and loss of lives. Then when the hearing was ongoing, operative of the DSS stormed the court premises and took away the suspects. Confirming the incident, counsel to Alhaji Isaka Kainde Bamiwola in a statement alleged that men of the DSS operatives used weapons on the two, stressing that Alhaji Isaka Fatai has beaten, slapped, manhandled, rough-handled and molested, collaborating Bamiwola's claim. The principal registrar of the High Court and the sectional head of the High Court, Ilaro Omolulu Olusanya, confirmed the incident, describing it as shocking and disrespectful to the rule of law, and stressing that even after the judge has ordered the operatives not to make any arrests within the court premises, they still proceeded to arrest the two persons. Nigerian Security and Civil Defense Corps has pledged to put in place a mechanism to secure schools and prevent students from kidnappers in Kogi State. Commander National Safe School Response Coordination Center, Hamad Abarunin, who disclosed this when he visited the Confluence University of Science and Technology, OSARA, expressed sadness over the adoption of Coach-Tech students by suspected bandits, adding that there was need to fortify security around schools to ensure safety of students. The commander said the adoption was unfortunate and his visit was in solidarity with the management and the university's community. Abodorin also said the establishment of the NSSRCC and the NSCDC headquarters was in demonstration of the government's resolve to address the challenge of school attack and its consequences that have thrown a large number of children out of school in Nigeria. Kogi State House of Assembly is urging Governor Usman Odudu to brief of security around tertiary institutions in the state to avert the kidnap of students by gunmen. The lawmakers gave the charge during plenary in Lokoja with a motion of urgent public importance, while the members representing Adivas State constituency and the chief whip of their house, Asema Baba Orana, under motion of urgent public importance, condemned the kidnapping of scores of students at the Confluence University of Science and Technology. OSARA also sympathized with the families of the kidnapped victims, adding that the adopted students were preparing for their first semester examination before they were ambushed by the gunmen. Chief of Administration and Control has sealed two unapproved chemicals and water companies in the Lafia and Obe local government area of Nasarawa State. The state coordinator of NAPDAC, Matthew Adeoye, who disclosed these are the two firms specialists in the manufacturing falsified and illegally operating in the unhygiene environment without following intelligence reports, and some of the perpetrators had been apprehended and handed over to the police for investigation into their activities. NAFDAC state coordinator said the facilities would remain sealed and prohibited from further production, adding that their production equipment has been confiscated by the agency, and called on members of the public to report the activities of unregistered producers and retailers of adulterated NAFDAC-regulated products within their domain for prompt action. He equally advised manufacturers to comply with the agency regulations in registering their products to avoid litigation or closure of their businesses' premises. Federal Executive Council, chaired by President Bola Tinubu, has approved the establishment of the tripartite committee to streamline via processes and acquisition for investors' interest in investing in Nigeria. The Minister of Information and National Orientation, Mohammed Idris, who disclosed this after the FEC meeting held at the Council Chamber of the Presidential Villa, Abuja, said their processes were becoming cumbersome and the case of doing business is also tied to the visa processes. He also said the meeting, which began on Monday, was adjourned till Tuesday to allow for other far-reaching decisions. Minister of Women Affairs Oju Kennedy Onahie has petitioned the Inspector General of Police Kayode Batekun and sought a court injunction to stop the Speaker of the Niger State House of Assembly, Abdulhamid Sakindaji, from marrying off 100 orphan girls. This is coming after the Speaker plans to marry off the orphan girls who lost their parents due to banditry attack in the Maringa local government area as part of his constituency project on May 24, adding that the gesture was aimed at alleviating the suffering of the impoverished, pledging to pay the dowries for the bridegrooms and procuring materials for the mass marriage. Kennedy Ohaneye, while briefing newsmen in Abuja, described the plans as unacceptable, while a full-scale invasion has commenced on the issue. The minister, while emphasizing the need to ensure girl-child education and empowerment, said the Speaker did not think about empowering the women or sending them to school or giving them some kind of training support financially. The minister also said within the Child Rights Act, every child belongs to the state, adding that the right of every child will be protected from harm, violence, or anything that will infringe on their rights. Christians in 100 in Kaduna State raised their voice against the government's alleged helplessness in rescuing a lone Chibok schoolgirls, La Charibo, still in Boko Haram's den since 2018. This is coming after land and over 100 female soulmates are forcefully taken captive by the dreaded Boko Haram insurgents over 10 years ago. While some were released, La, who refused to denounce her Christian faith, remained in captivity. At the point, she was said to be married to more than 2 commanders of the sect, which had over the years unleashed terror on Borno, Yobe, Adamawa, and some parts of the northern states. She bore 3 kids for the commanders and some Christians under the aegis of the Christian Solidarity Worldwide. Nigeria, in a peaceful protest, demanded the immediate release of Leah and other school children still languishing in terrorist camp across the north. The Christian leaders stormed the ECWA Good News Church along Narayi High Court, Chigon LGA of the state, where the peaceful protest was held, and collectively called on both the federal and state governments to secure the community so that La Sharibu and others could go to school without necessarily ending up at kidnappers' den. The Chief Executive Officer of the Christian Solidarity Worldwide Nigeria, Reverend Yanusa Madu, described it as unfortunate that 10 years after the incident, Sharibu had yet to be rescued. 13 persons are found dead following a strange disease that broke out in some communities in Zamfara State. Eyewitnesses say the disease affected children and women, while findings from hospitals and governments indicated that a total of 505 cases were recorded after Maradun, Sharikfi, and Kwasio local government areas in the state. It was also discovered that the disease has spread to Isa and Zumi local government areas of Sokoto and Zamfara states, while the outbreak was fire detected in Sitibiri village in Maradun LGA in February this year. And most patients with minor complications have received treatment and have been discharged from the primary health care center in Tisbiri. He said that the disease appeared to be spreading with cases emerging in neighboring areas, raising concern about its containment, appealing to the government of Sokoto and Zamfara State to deploy more medical experts to affected areas to address the situation before the disease escalated to other communities. He also expressed concern that the disease had yet to reach Maradon town, adding that proactive measures must be taken by the government to prevent its escalation. Police in Adamawa State says 5 men linked with a series of armed robberies and kidnappings along the Norman Chalingo had been arrested. The Adamawa State Police Command, which disclosed this in a statement, said its operatives and working in collaboration with hunters arrested the suspects. The statement signed by the State Police Public Relations Officer SP Suleiman Ngureje said the timely response yielded the positive result as 5 out of 7 were arrested, while the command's response team aggressively gave a hot chase to the kidnappers, leading to the arrest, recovery of offensive weapons and successful rescue of the kidnapped victims. It also said the suspects are residents of Kedemura and Bikirin Sajo of Damsa and Song local government areas. Suspected criminals have been apprehended for processing a bomb on the premises of a bank in Dadin Kowa town in Jos South area of Plateau State. Eyewitness said the bomb was in a suspect possession and some residents raised the alarm and he was quickly nabbed to avert tragedy. According to the post by the security analyst Zagazola Makama on X, the vigilante security at the bank prevented the attack when they spotted the suspects, while an angry mob descended on the suspects and reportedly demanded that they should be killed. He should be killed. The suspect was later handed over to the police for proper investigation. Eldest son of Maman Mo, founder of Islamic State of the West African province, Mohamed Maman Mo Abariwe, has surrendered to the Nigerian Security and Civil Defense Corps in Maiduguri, Borno State capital. Mahmoud, who is 22 years of age, surrendered to the NSCDC and has been handed over to Bulukutu rehabilitation facilities for further documentations and custody. This was disclosed in Zagazola Makama Lak Chad Basin Counter-Terrorism and Insurgency Expert in a post on his X-handle. Mahmoud confessed of taking part in attack in Bama, Banki, Gwoza, and several other places at the middle rounds fighters under the Boko Haram groups. While Makama said intelligence revealed that Mahmoud was confirmed to be the senior son of the late ISWAP founder after undergoing profiling at the command headquarters of NSCDC in Maiduguri. The security expert also said men of the command has facilitated his surrendering through his uncle in Gamburu, Ngala, after receiving information that he was willing to formally surrender to the Nigerian government. You are watching The Transition on Atlantic Television Network. We return after this break.
From the line across the ocean to the land beyond the mountains, through the Sahara, we bring on sport news, live analysis, expert discussions on trending stories in politics, business, socio-economy, sports, and documentaries. So catch all the updates on the happenings around the globe. Stay focused on the fact today, only on ATN.
Thomas Morrison Communications Limited proudly presents Children's Day Celebration 2024.
Arts. La Small Hotel and Resorts, number 9, Rumukalabo off Waterlines, Basta, Port Harcourt. On Saturday, May 25th, starting at 8 a.m. Inter-school march past competition,
Dance competition, drama competition. Parents, teachers and children alike, don't miss out on the fun with Uncle Clown bouncing castle as we cut the Children's Day cake. Admission is just 2,000 naira per child. For participation and sponsorship opportunities, call us now 0806 673 8689 and 0810 634 1777.
This event is proudly sponsored by the Last Small Hotel and Resort with Atlantic Television Network and 99.5 Wish FM Port Harcourt, Lesuka Event Center, Gate Place Hotel, 8 Board Hotel and Lounge, Oma Studio, Osgia Table Water. Remember that every child is unique. See you there. This event is managed by Pace Expressions Arts.
Special guest appearance, Hilda Dokubo, Children's Day Celebration 2024.
Every day.
Welcome back, and now to the rest of our stories. President Bola Tinubu and Vice President Kashim Shettima said they will start paying toll gate fees whenever they use airports in Nigeria. This followed a decision of the Federal Executive Council approval that there should be no more exemption granted to users of the airports from paying toll gate fees. The approval was made following a memorandum presented to the Council by the Minister of the Aviation, Festus Kayamo, who urged that the government was losing over 82% of the revenue it should have earned from the e-tax that provide access to the toll gates. He also said the memoranda has initially prescribed an exemption for only the President and the Vice President before Tinubu overruled and directed that both of them should be included among those that must pay the toll gates. Kayamo, who described this at the post-FEC media briefing, regretted that wealthy and very important persons who should pay the toll gates are those that have not been paying. President Bola Tinubu has instructed the Central Bank of Nigeria to suspend the implementation of the 0.5% cybersecurity levy in response to public backlash and opposition following his announcement. Minister of Information and National Orientation Mohammed Idris, who disclosed the suspension of the levy, said President Tinubu has directed the CBN to temporarily halt the enforcement of the 0.5% cybersecurity levy and to review the method for its application. This is coming after members of the House of Representatives last Thursday urged the CBN to withdraw the circular directing financial institutions to commence implementation of the 0.5% cybersecurity levy, describing it as ambiguous. State has adjourned Tuesday plenary session in honor of the member of the House of Representatives, Honorable Issa Dogoyaro, who died on Friday after a brief illness. This is coming after the upper chamber held a minute silence in honor of the lawmaker, who is a member of the House of Representatives, in line with the tradition of the chamber. Until his death, the lawmaker represented Barura Kakil Federal Constituency of Jigawa State in the 10th Assembly of the House of Representatives and was 46 years of age. A decision to suspend the plenary was carried out in line with the tradition of the National Assembly following a motion moved by the Deputy Senate Leader, Senator Lola Ashiru, and seconded by the Minority Leader, Senator Abbas Moro. The President of the Senate, Godswill Akpabio, while putting the motion to a voice vote, which was unanimously supported by Senator commensurate with the families of the deceased lawmakers and the government and people of Jigawa State.
Strong sadness, I wish to announce
the death of Honorable Isa Dogoyaro, the Clerk House of Representatives has communicated to the Senate the passing on to eternity of Honorable Isa Dogoyaro, which did occurred on Friday, the 10th day of May 2024, after a brief illness. He is survived by 2 wives and children. Until his death, Honorable Isa Dogoyaro represented Babura Gariki Federal Constituency of Jigawa State and was the Deputy Chairman, House Committee on HIV and AIDS, and also tuberculosis and malaria. I request the Senate to observe a minute silence in his honor, and please accept, distinguished senators, my highest considerations. So, this is communicated to us through our clerk. In line with our tradition, we'll observe a minute silence, and then we'll bring the proceedings to an end in honor of the departed Dogoyaro. May we rise to do so.
The upper chamber, after a minute silence in the honor of the deceased lawmakers, adjourned plenary till Wednesday, May 15, 2024. Similarly, the House of Representatives adjourned plenary on Tuesday in honor of a late lawmaker, Honorable Isa Dogoyaro. The Speaker of the House of Representatives, Honorable Tajudan Abbas, who announced the adjournment, said the late member, who hailed from Kagi in Jigawa State and represented the Babura Kagi Federal Constituency, passed away on Friday, 10th of May 2024 after a brief illness. Honorable Abbas described the late Honorable Isa Dogoyaro as a battle patriot. As a disbattled patriot who was very intellectual man, who is dedicated and passionate legislator who served his constituents and the nation with utmost commitment. He also said the late lawmakers built strong bond of friendship with honorable members from all parts of the country and is survived by wives and children. Honorable Abbas said the House should set a day aside to hold a venditory session for the deceased.
Today, we'll suspend plenary. Adjourn through tomorrow, Wednesday, 11 a.m. Thank you.
The House do adjourn plenary to tomorrow.
So without any waste of time, Honorable Dogoyaro was a patriotic Nigerian who transcended ethnic and regional divides. He was a detribalized patriot, committed to the vision of a united Nigeria. May his legacies inspire us to strive for a Nigeria where every citizen, regardless of background, can thrive and achieve their full potentials. In addition to his professional achievements, Honorable Dogoyaro was a loving husband and father, survived by his 2 wives and children. To his family, we extend our deepest condolences. We share in your grief and honor the memory of a husband, father, and a patriot who gave so much of himself to the service of our dear nation. Today, as we mourn his untimely passing, we also celebrate the mark he left on our hearts and our nation. Let us honor Honorable Isa Dogoyaro by continuing the important work to which he dedicated his life. May his soul rest in peace.
Les Issa Dogonyaro was described as a vibrant member in the House, contributing significantly to the development of legislation, particularly in the area of HIV/AIDS, tuberculosis, and malaria control, where he served as a deputy chairman of the House committee. He will be reconvened on Wednesday, May 15, 2024 at 11 a.m. Reforms. Government plans revenue regenerating model for NYSC Minister of Youth Development, Jamila Biao Ibrahim, said plans are underway to begin reform and reconstructing of the National Youth Service Corps scheme. The minister said the theme to spearhead the review, restructuring, and reform of the NYSC should be inaugurated soon. Biao Ibrahim disclosed this at the opening ceremony of the maiden meeting of the NYSC management with the head of core producing institution in Nigeria in Abuja, said the reforms will be centered on reviewing participants with their entrepreneurship mindset and making skills development a core of the program. The minister also said over 5,000 core members would have their entrepreneurial ventures funded with close to 10 million, adding that the vision was not only to have a self-sustaining scheme, but also a revenue-generating program within the next 5 years. Meanwhile, the Director General of the NYSC, Brigadier General Yusuf Ahmed, said the meeting was aimed at enhancing the mobilization process of the prospect core members, as well as evolving strategies for emulating identified flaws and ensure a non-seamless mobilization process. Executive Secretary, Tertiary Education Trust Fund, Sonny Nkono, says public-private partnership, which is a funding model for public infrastructure projects and initiatives, was the best way to improve public tertiary institutions in Nigeria. He disclosed this while the Tertiary Education Trust Fund held one-day sensitization workshop on emerging area of students need beneficiaries institution, which drawn the attention of the vice chancellors, rectors, and provosts of the career service centers, teaching practices, beneficiaries, identify management service, and hotel development in all public institutions.
An academic and a practitioner in guidance and counseling has been selected to deliver a paper with a theme incorporating holistic approaches to career counseling that considers students' personal, academic, and professional development needs. I'm hopeful that his paper will not only throw light on this, but will also emphasize the significance of the centers and the services they are to provide for the benefit of our institutions. The workshop will further feature a presentation by the Strategic Planning Department on the TED Fund guidelines for accessing the Career Services Center intervention so that it hastens the processing time in accessing the intervention funds. I'm aware that quite a good number have already applied and are already accessing, but we notice that there is a need to also fast track for those who are not particularly sure about what the expectations are, and that clarification will be available so that we're hoping within the next couple of weeks everybody should begin to work towards getting their centers running. The workshop further seeks to address other equally important ICT programs and the hostel development drive using the public-private partnership model. The world is driven by information and communications technology, and any education system that is not ICT driven or compliant may not.
Sonny also said the focus areas of the workshop will be implemented.
The workshop further seeks to address other equally important ICT programs and the hostel development drive using the public-private partnership model. access to libraries, learning resources, databases, and Eagle Scan for plagiarism checks, among several other services that will transform our institutions into modern, digitalized centers of learning. It's also the reason why an expert has been selected to deliver the second paper with the theme, Emerging Students' Needs in our Contemporary Learning Environment Using ICT. This is to further elaborate on the need to promote ICT training programs in our institution and the inclusion of our robust student population in the scheme to gain insight on the significance of our changing world. As I indicated earlier, we also discuss other laudable initiatives that
and the representatives of the acting secretary of the National University Commission, NUC Rita Okonjo, urged the federal government to take education seriously and urged that PPP may not work for tertiary institutions if not well implemented by the institutions.
When mention is made of students' needs in tertiary institutions, I would like to note that the education ecosystem is constantly changing and is incumbent on various stakeholders to keep track and as well ensure that adequate provisions in terms of material resources are available to cater for these needs. As acting director of students in NUC, I can relate with a number of student-centric needs. Therefore, it is a welcome development that amongst the newly established interventions by TETFOR is the Career Service Center Intervention Line.
I want to say that the third form inviting us as stakeholders to this meeting is a example of how to be what, sir, you remember when we are allocating money to universities that we agreed that they will call stakeholder meeting for that money to utilize. We had our neck 2 days ago. Let us 10% have called that stakeholder meeting. But I'm sure they would have sent their request to you. So if debt fund at the highest can do it, why can't we do it in universities? I want to repeat again. Any university don't come, take the stakeholder along, should not be allowed to come. The fund belongs to Nigerian people. And that is why all of this, you go and check the history, and we are doing that already. There are some universities that have not utilized 2016, 2017, 2018, 2019, 2020, 2021 allocation. They have not used it. They have not completed it. What we would have used your fund to do in 2016, we cannot do more for time today. So we need to put a disciplinary process in motion. Any university that misuse that money, that our people sweated for, people like Jega, people like Susi Asodi were jailed. Think of fashion of first story building to raise. People collect it and they don't play with it.
Academic Staff Union of Universities has threatened a nationwide strike and decried the failure of the federal government to appoint governing council for federal universities. The union also faulted that it's described as a nonchalant attitude of the President Bola Tinubu's led administration, federal government, to matters pertaining to academics in Nigeria's federal universities. The body of academics disclosed this during an ongoing press briefing at the University of Abuja and faulted the 35% salary increment for professors and the 25% salary increments for other academics in the university system. ASU also said it saw the increment as a wage award that could be withdrawn by the government anytime it's deemed fit. Speaking during the ongoing briefing, the president of the union, Professor Emmanuel Osadeke, said it has given the Tinubu-led government enough time to set things in motion, and the union was also concerned over the failure of the federal government to appoint members of Governing Councils for federal-owned universities, adding that the dissolution of the governing councils was illegal as it was against the principle guiding the existing universities. Analysts have emphasized the need for parents and guardians to caution their children to prepare for the forthcoming NECO examination. Speaking on Atlantic Television Blowout, a public affairs analyst, Magnus Edor, said parents must ensure that they help their children's work to make good grades as examination kicks off.
When it's time for WAEC, it's when you see seriousness in some parents doing extramural classes, doing some other things to ensure that they have passed all the required exams the children are going to write. But I think like the way I operate in my own house, I used to tell my children, once you start school, tomorrow can be your exams. So get prepared. You know, it's not only exam times that you see parents talking to their children. You know, we buy answers for our children. Big phones that they will be online refusing to read their books. Yes, we are in this age that we need technologies, but I think this one is.
Bosinde Ariakpe also said the Nigerian educational system has lost value following the emergence of fraudulent activities among youths.
You will see the seriousness on the streets. Children who naturally play, you will see how they will play and start trying to prepare. But right now, I tell you the truth, nobody cares about this. Do you know why?
Tell us.
Why is because education has lost its value in the Nigerian society. People are profiting from criminal ventures publicly. And because these people are profiting from
coming after the National Examination Council has released the 2024 National Examination Council Senior School Certificate Examination timetable. NECO disclosed this in a Monday post on its X platform. The exam is expected to start on Wednesday, June 19, 2024 and end on Friday, July 26, 2024. And that's the size of the package. Thanks for joining us. I am Immaculata Irikana. You can join us on all our media platforms, Facebook and YouTube, Atlantic Television Network, Instagram and TikTok, Atlantic TV Network 1, X Atlantic. You can also watch us live on our website, atlanticnetwork.tv. Do remember that peace and unity are the pathways to progress.
From the line across the ocean to the land beyond the mountains, through the Sahara, we bring all sport news, live analysis, expert discussions on trending stories in politics, business, social, sports, and documentaries. So catch all the updates on the happenings around the globe. Stay focused on the fact today, only on ATN.